I'm going to be ranking areas based on how desperately they need to be updated in World of Warcraft. Because let's face it, since the Cataclysm, there are so many things that need to be updated, right? I mean, Booty Bay, Gadgetzan, the Barrens, the Plaguelands, like the major cities, right? But I want to rank them based on what I would want to be updated first, which I'll put in the S tier, and then things that I obviously do want updated, but are less of a priority, which will go A, B, C, D, right? So that's how tier lists work. So let's just jump right into it with Booty Bay. Booty Bay to me is one of those that is absolutely S tier. I think the potential of Booty Bay to be finished is like off the charts. Like you could have this really cool coastal city. I mean, kind of the same way it used to be in classic WoW, right? But I think you could take it even up to another level. You would have, you know, so many ships visiting here. There could be a whole bunch of goblins interacting here. Maybe a lot of the different goblin cartels would be coming to Booty Bay and trading. Like there's so much cool stuff that I think you could do with Booty Bay, and it's just constantly being repaired by the goblins. Like I don't know who paid these goblins to repair Booty Bay, but they've been doing it for so long to where they're clearly not getting paid to complete the job, right? Like they're getting paid on the hours, so they're just like, all right, just keep hammering, right? Because if they got paid to complete the job, they probably would have completed it by now. When I think of what needs to get updated, Booty Bay is like always on top of the list. I can't get the broken clock tower and the goblins repairing everything out of my head, or like the bank that has the treasure inside of it. You can see, obviously, there's the Booty Bay statue with the treasure inside of it from Pointless Top 10, of course. But yeah, I would say Booty Bay is S tier. Stonetalon Mountains. Now, this is an interesting one, and I'm going to put it in the C tier because Stonetalon got kind of messed up by Cataclysm and like Garrosh Hellscream doing all this stuff, right? There was all the wars and all that stuff going on. So like, there's just a bunch of stuff in Stonetalon going on that doesn't even really make sense anymore, right? Like the Alliance and the Horde are fighting there. There's a bunch of like goblin machinery and various things there. It's kind of chaotic. And so I don't know how they would go about fixing Stonetalon or updating it. I mean, the obvious answer is you remove the war-based stuff, right? Like they stop fighting. And I think that's one of the things that is interesting with all these outdated aspects of these zones or these areas is that a lot of them just don't really relate to the world anymore. And so when you're going through these zones, it almost feels like you're taking a trip to the past. And I don't really mind if they do that for something like Chromie time, right? Where you can warp to old versions of the zone. Maybe you want to level through Cataclysm and you're like, oh, I'll play through Cataclysm Stonetalon, right? But like when you're just going through normal Azeroth now in like the modern game and you're like, oh yeah, I guess Garrosh is fighting in Stonetalon. It just like, it takes you out of the world a bit, right? And so that's really my thing is I love being in the world of Warcraft. I love being immersed in the world. That's what my channel's all about, is just going around and discovering and appreciating the world. And when you go to these places that have like outdated stuff in them, it kind of takes you out of that. So I wouldn't say it's like as important, but like it's one of those things where I'd say it's important enough to where I think they should remove things like the war going on, you know? I think those things could calm down. They don't have to like do a full revamp of it or anything, right? So yeah. Then we have Stranglethorn Vale, which I guess can kind of tie in with Booty Bay, because Stranglethorn had that big whirlpool thing in the center or whatever it is. I don't know if this would heal or not, I guess is my thought process. Like, is it permanently like this from the Cataclysm? Because if it is, then I'd probably put it in the D tier. I think I'd probably put it in the D tier, actually, just no matter what. Because I don't think it's like that big of a deal. And I think maybe, if anything, they would probably work around it, right? Like maybe if Booty Bay got repaired, the goblins would go to Stranglethorn and they'd be like, hey, let's build a bridge over this thing or something, right? Like, I feel like they would try to take advantage of it in some way. Or maybe, you know, someone else is like, hey, we can use this big whirlpool to like power our devices, or like they figure out something to do with it, right? Or just something like that, where they're kind of working around these things that have happened with the Cataclysm. Because again, this is like the Cataclysm is supposed to be like years and years ago, right? So at this point, like, what is healed from the Cataclysm, or what's partially recovered, and what's like, you know, still gonna be affected by it, right? Speaking of which, then we have Southshore, and I'm pretty sure Southshore is like fully healed now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually gonna put it in the you know what, I put it in the S tier. I think it deserves being redone. I'm pretty sure I remember reading something like or not thematically, like lore accurately or whatever it is, right? In current lore, Southshore is like perfectly fine. Like the Paladins rebuilt it or some shit like that. It's something like that. Like Southshore should be fine. And so I actually think that would make sense. I would actually love if Southshore was back to the way it was, or maybe even built up a little bit more, because I really dislike finding these types of areas now in the game where it's just been like destroyed by not the plague, or like the Forsaken or whatever it is, right? And there's all this goop all over. And like, sure, back then it was kind of cool, like, oh, everything's getting plagued and destroyed by the Forsaken. And now it's just kind of like, yeah, it's just some shit that got blown up and polluted, right? And it's just like, it kind of sucks. So yeah, I think Southshore definitely should get revamped. I mean, we also have like the Tar and Mill area, which I didn't actually put on this list, but I think it would be cool to kind of go back to that style of like, we have the Alliance and the Horde here, both in Hillsbrid, but now maybe they've even like calmed down a bit. Maybe they're not fighting as much, or maybe if they are fighting, it's over like something really dumb where they're not like going to war over each other over it, but it's like, you're taking our resources that are like some little like conflict that's going on between them. I don't know what you would do, but I feel like that would be kind of fun, where it's nothing serious, right? I don't know. But I would like there to actually be a Southshore again. Orgrimmar. To me, Orgrimmar, I'd say Orgrimmar's S tier. We're getting a lot of S tiers right away, but like, some people I think could argue Orgrimmar's A or even B tier, because it's like not the most important. This is more of an S tier for my personal beliefs. Because I love old Orgrimmar. I love classic Orgrimmar. I love the feel of classic Orgrimmar, right? Like when you walk into Orgrimmar in classic WoW and you hear the wolves howling and it's like, woo, and you hear the, it's like you walk into this kind of tribal, almost like barbaric city, but it's still very structured, right? But everything's kind of built out of like natural resources. And I just always love that vibe of it. Like you get the like Zug Loktar vibes when you walk into old Orgrimmar, and then now you walk in and it's just like everything is just like metal and the iron, and you got that Garrosh vibe. And I really hate New Orgrimmar. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely just don't like New Orgrimmar. It's not my least favorite city, but it's like, it's low. Like I really don't like the design of like all the stuff is like up on the mountain in the middle. And it's hard to navigate. I really don't like it. And after seeing New Silvermoon, I'm like, dude, they could make Orgrimmar so cool, man. And they don't even have to go like full old Orgrimmar with like all the natural resources, but like a blend of them, right? Like you take some of the old Orgrimmar, you can keep some of the metal maybe for like the warrior areas, or like the barracks, and you know, the stuff that makes sense, but then, you know, have this blend of the two, and even have like little districts again, like the Troll district, and you could like maybe even build that up a bit, and then the Taran district, and like all these different things. And I think they can make it awesome. And so I would love if they did that, but I'm putting it S tier, but I can see how somebody else would put it in like A or B or like whatever, right? Stormwind. Now, this is kind of what I mean, because I think Stormwind, to me, I would actually put in A tier. And I only say that because I actually like current Stormwind. Like, unlike current Orgrimmar, I like going to current Stormwind. Like, I wouldn't mind if it got, you know, spruced up and, you know, had some, or like if they modernized it, right? Kind of like Silvermoon, where they made it really big and you could go all around and it was really neat. But I'd rather go to Stormwind than Orgrimmar. And so I just personally don't think it's as high up on my list. Like if I had to pick one of the two cities, I'm gonna pick Orgrimmar to get revamped. That's just me. But it's all personal preference, right? It's all subjective. So I'm saying Stormwind A tier. I would still love to see it get the Silvermoon treatment. Thunder Bluff. This one I'd actually put B tier. Cause again, I would enjoy seeing a modernized Thunder Bluff and what they would do, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really know how much different it would be. Like trying to think of it. Like, I guess the scale of it would just be bigger. Like, in fact, you know what? I'm going to put it in C. Like, I really don't think they'd have to upgrade Thunder Bluff. Like, it'd be cool if they, like, did some updating. Like, I feel like with Thunder Bluff, they wouldn't need a full-blown update. I don't think they would have to do, like, a big Silvermoon style revamp. I think if they just, like, added a little bit here and there, maybe a little graphical updates at parts, I think that would be really cool. And that's all I would really want. So I think Thunder Bluff's kind of whatever. It's fine. If they did it, it's fine. If they didn't, whatever. Western Plaguelands. I think this one's a B tier. Yeah, I think it's a B tier because when you go to the Western Plaguelands now, right? Like it's very much, it's like used to be plagued and now it's not as plagued. And so I feel like over the years that would have continued, right? I'm not really like 100% on a lot of this lore. So, you know, excuse me if I'm wrong or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong too, because like, I don't know. But I think it's like, it would keep regrowing, like it would become more green and vibrant, but there would still be like signs of the plague. Like there would still be like tainted land, if you will, or like still some like undead walking around, and there would still be like corrupted stuff, but it would obviously be a lot more, you know, a lot more of how it currently is with like the green and the farms, and a lot more livable, right? It's a much more livable conditions. So I think that would be cool if they just kind of kept going down that path. But I wouldn't want it to fully heal, right? I'd still want a lot of those scars to be shown off and to, you know, exist in some way. But I think that would be pretty cool. I think that has a lot of potential. Azshara. Azshara is one of those ones where I would really love if they updated Azshara, but I don't know how. Because, like, okay, I'd actually put it in the B tier. And here's why. I don't really like what they did to Azshara. It almost feels like they don't know what they wanted to do with Azshara. Like, it was this. In fact, I don't even think they knew what they wanted to do with Azshara back in Classic WoW. Because you go there, right, there's the ghosts, and there's the Naga there, and there's just like a bunch of wildlife and stuff. And I always enjoyed old Azshara because it was kind of empty, and it had that naturey mystical vibe to it, right? And there's old night elf ruins there and stuff like that. And then they turned it into like the Goblin Raceway. Like Gallywix is building a big ass mansion of himself there, and like there's the giant like war base. Like I don't know. I really don't like what they did to it. So I don't know what they would do to update it. Maybe, I don't know if, because it could go one of two ways, right? It could go like the goblins stopped caring and they abandoned it, and the nature has started to overtake everything there, which I think would be a really cool concept, right? Like a built up goblin area that is, that they built over nature and then abandoned, and now it's been retaken by nature, right? Like that would be pretty sick. But then they could also go the path of like they build up the goblin stuff there where there's more roads. It essentially just becomes like a new goblin city, right? Like they'd have their capital would be there, and then they would just build it up, right? And so I would like it if it changed a bit. You know what? It's probably not that big of a deal. Maybe I should put it in the C tier. You know what? No, I'm gonna keep it in the B tier because I would love if nature took it back. I don't know the lore behind why nature would take it back or why they would abandon it. But listen, we've had the jailer, we've had Sylvanas come back and like shoot a bow through a portal and like hit what's her name, right? Like, we can have nature take back Azshara, right? I'm allowing it. Now we have Felwood, and I think Felwood's probably in the C tier for me. I wouldn't mind if Felwood got a little bit of the Western Plaguelands treatment, right? Because I feel like it's kind of a similar situation where it's been corrupted, like these forests have been corrupted, you know, the furbolgs are there and they're always getting corrupted. And maybe it starts healing a bit, right? Like maybe the night elves and everybody here just start healing the forest a bit. And so it kind of gets that more vibrant feel and looking a little more majestic and like Ashenvale like, or even like a mixture of like Ashenvale and Darkshore, where it's gaining that life, but it still has some of those signs of corruptions, right? Like there's still some trees that are like throwing up green goop. There's still like the like mobs that are corrupted or rivers that are still green, but they're like working their way towards healing it. I think that'd be pretty cool. To the point where I've convinced myself it's a B tier. I'd actually really enjoy a more updated Felwood. Barrens. Barrens is interesting because you're obviously not going to heal the giant lava crack in the ground. I feel like that's just there now. Like, I don't know how that would heal. I don't know enough about like geology and the earth or like how that fixes itself. I just imagine it's still there, right? But maybe the two sides have kind of built up a bit more. Like obviously there's the Alliance and the Horde fighting in the Southern Barrens. That would all stop. And I don't know how you would actually go about changing that. Like, let's say, you know, Alliance and the Horde stop fighting in the Southern Barrens, but like now what? Like, who controls it? Have the Alliance taken control? Maybe the Horde took back control, or the Tauren maybe the Tauren just get it back, right? Like maybe they've determined like, hey, that's where the Tauren live, they can have it. Like, because I mean the Alliance and Horde are like friends now, right? I mean, like, hey, sorry we fought, you could have your shit back, right? I don't know. And then in the northern part where it kind of becomes very green and vibrant, maybe they have some like weird monsters or so. Oh, what about those like the plant people? We just had the plant people in like the new expansion, and then we also had the plant people in Draenor, right? And I actually think they might be in the Barrens. So maybe some plant people would take over there, or the Quillbores. Maybe we get like more druidic Quillbores or that type of thing, the ones summoning the vines. I don't know. The Barrens, I think, is probably C, because I would mainly just want them to get rid of the war shit going on. It's kind of similar to Stonetalon, right? I would want them to get rid of the war stuff going on, and then everything else would be kind of a bonus. So I'd just put it in the C tier. Like, I'd prefer this to almost be like, just clean it up a bit. That's what C will stand for. C is just like, clean it up a little bit. I think that's good. Silithus. Dude, Silithus is like the zone that's always just in need of updating. But I'm going to put it in the A tier, actually. I don't think it's not my most important thing to be updated, but I would love if they did something with it. You know? Just something with the sword and like everything around. I know there's some people that like the sword. They're like, leave the sword. But like, you know what'd be kind of cool is if the goblins or the gnomes or like somebody starts like picking away. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Starts like picking away at the sword like for resources. They're like, yo, this sword's made out of like super metal. We're gonna use this to make weapons. Like that would be sick, right? Like that type of thing where the races of WoW, like goblins and stuff, start just breaking apart the sword. Where that would actually be cool. Where, you know, most of the time we see things in Booty Bay where stuff's like half destroyed, half built, you know, whatever. But this would be like maybe the sword's like halfway chopped in half and it's like being ripped apart. And there's like goblins with scaffolding on it. And they're just like taking pieces. And then that leads to the goblins creating like some sort of new weaponry or some sort of new gear that we've like never even known about or something like that. I think that'd be cool, right? Maybe not, but I think it'd be cool. So yeah, I'd put that pretty high up. And then I don't know what else they would do in Silithus, but I don't know, something. Because Silithus has always just been a zone that's just there. Like it never really, outside of getting the sword stabbed into it, it's kind of whatever. Undercity. I'd put that in the S tier. In its current state, and I'm gonna, again, this is a bit of a bias for me because I actually did like the Undercity, but I hate that when I go to the Undercity right now, when I port there on my mage, I'm sure everyone has had this experience. You port there on your mage, and then you end up at this like toxic waste dump of a city, and you can't even go into it, and then you have to talk to the person there to warp back in time. But when you try to talk to her, it warps you back nowhere. It's like it glitches out or it's bugged. And so then you have to talk to her again, and then it takes you to the old version of the Tirisfal in the Undercity. It's so stupid. Like, I don't know how they haven't fixed this by now. Granted, it's, you know, it's Blizzard, right? The patches are already breaking everything. In fact, if they fixed it, it would probably break something else. But if they updated the Undercity, I think that'd be awesome. I mean, there's people that have said that it should become Lordaeron, like Lordaeron 2.0, and the Alliance take it back and build it up and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like Stormwind already does that for me. Like, I don't really want Lordaeron. I would really like a revamped Undercity, under the control of, like, I don't know, whoever's in charge of the Horde. They're just like, hey, you know what? We're gonna make a cool new Undercity. We're gonna clean it up. Is the Undercity actually cleaned up, like, canonically or in the lore? Is Undercity still destroyed in the WoW lore? Yes, it is still destroyed, uninhabitable due to the Blight explosion. While Forsaken players have begun reclaiming the surface ruins of Lordaeron, the underground itself is now restored in the active storyline. So, pretty much they just would, like, keep cleaning it up. Right? They would keep cleaning it up, getting rid of everything, and then you would have like a new Undercity. But I would love that. That would be so cool. I would love a new Undercity because it's such a unique city, right? It's like the Horde Ironforge. And just going down there and like having the elevators working again and the big area in the middle and just, I don't know. I always liked the Undercity, and I always like going in there, and the music was like whoop 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 whoop. There was always that sound that would be like whoop 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 whoop. It like shook the bass. So again, this is kind of just my bias for how much I want there to be a new Undercity, but and obviously, you know, I don't think Sylvanas would be there. Although at this point, Sylvanas will probably come back and be our friend. So I really would like the Undercity to get repaired. Next up, we have Loch Modan. I think in Loch Modan, we mainly just have the broken dam, right? There's the dam with all the heads that like got shattered and all that stuff. Oh man. I put this in the B tier because I think the dwarves would rebuild the dam. There's a lot of like, it's like the Mount Rushmore of dwarves, right? There's like a bunch of dwarven heads on there. I feel like they would want to repair that. So I think they'd repair the dam. I think it would probably go back to kind of how it was. There'd still probably be some stuff left over from the Cataclysm or specific areas that got changed a bit. But I would say they should mainly just rebuild the dam and then, you know, go from there. That's kind of the main thing I would want. It's just the rebuilt dam. So I'm going to put in the B tier because I would like that a lot. Yeah. Westfall. I'd actually put Westfall in the A tier. And it's because whenever I go to Westfall now, like, I don't like the vibes it gives off. Like, I think when you go there in Classic WoW, and I'm not even a big, like, Classic Westfall person. Like, I think it's cool. I enjoyed going there. It's kind of like this farmland, and it's just very, like, Midwest. You know what I mean? And now when you go there, it feels very chaotic still, right? There's like a tornado going off. There's like a bunch of stuff is just broken. There's like, it feels weird. The vibes of Westfall currently are weird. I'm not a big fan of it. So I would love if they just kind of cleaned it up, which maybe I should put it in the cleanup. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna put it in the cleanup one because I think if they just cleaned up Westfall and got some stuff done, but again, like I'd actually really want them to do that. So I put, you know what? I'm gonna put it in the B tier. I think I'm gonna settle on the B tier because I think I want them to do a little more than clean it up, but I don't want them to like fully revamp the zone or like do anything crazy. Like I do with, you know, some of these other ones, like having the goblins mine the sword in Silithus or something like that, right? So yeah, I'm gonna put it in the B tier, even though it's technically a cleanup. And I guess Loch Modan, like, just forget the fact that C is cleanup. I'm just, I just kind of said that because it sounded good. Menethil Harbor. I think that has to be an A tier, right? Like Menethil Harbor's been gone for so long, and I think they could probably rebuild it by now. And it'd probably be pretty similar to how it was, right? Maybe they would have like some dedications there, you know, like in honor of the people that died here or that type of thing. But I think Menethil Harbor would be rebuilt by now. And that's another one of those things where you go there and see it. Unless maybe there's some reason that it can't be, right? Like maybe there's some weird radiation, like magical radiation going on or something like that. And if that's the case, then maybe they add some stuff there that's been impacted by that magical radiation. You know, like the creatures start warping, the swamp gets a little weird, there's like some weird weather going on. I think that'd be pretty sick, right? I think they could go one of the two ways. You either go into like this weird magical radiation that happened from the bomb, which I don't even know if like that's lore accurate, but it's cool in my head, so I'm gonna say it. Or you could, you know, just repair it and, like I said, have some memorials and stuff like that. I think either one works. Gilneas is interesting because we just had that patch where you like reclaim Gilneas, right? So I feel like we're kind of like halfway there. I'm already halfway there. So I don't think it needs that much updating. I feel like it probably just needs like just adding in stuff. So I'm actually just going to put in the D tier because I feel like we've already had some Gilneas stuff happen and like revamp and everything. And I feel like they just have to add in NPCs and like do some other, because I feel like it's already pretty good. Like I mean, there are areas of Gilneas that feel like they need to get repaired, right? But maybe I'd put it higher up because of that. But I've never been a big Gilneas person. Like I think it's cool. I'd go there, but like you know, it's never been my thing. I know there's probably people Gilneas is like in their S tier #1, but it's just never been my type of thing. Exodar. I think the Exodar has to be S tier. Like, well, you know, okay, I'm gonna put it in the A tier, and here's why. Because I feel like there's no real reason for us to update the Exodar as of right now, aside from like you can't fly in there and it's outdated. But unlike Silver Moon, where we've kind of, you know, done stuff with Zulaman and Eversong Woods and like all these zones around there, we're not doing anything with the Azure Mist Isle or the Blood Mist Isle. So I guess if I included those with the Exodar, that would make more sense, right? They would probably update all of those and then the Exodar would go with it. But it feels like there's like nothing really there for it right now. In fact, it makes me want to even drop it down. But like I would enjoy if it got updated. But you know what? I feel like if they just added flying to the Exodar, which I don't think they would do because there's probably areas where you can't even fly, which is the reason they don't let you fly there. I think if they just clean it up, I'm actually going to put it in the C tier. It's one of those things where I'd put it in the A tier because I want them to update stuff. But I think it probably doesn't need that much updating, and there's other stuff I'd rather them update when I think about it. And so I'm going to put it in the C tier. Like, I think I'd rather have them do all the things that I mentioned above it on this list. Ironforge. Ironforge I would actually really like to see as like a cleanup type of thing. Kind of like Thunder Bluff. I would really like if in Ironforge they just like updated some of the graphics, some of the weird outdated looking things, but kept that same vibe. I wouldn't want them to like full blown, right, like old Orgrimmar to new Orgrimmar type of thing. I would just want them to like update the assets that look outdated and old, and maybe add, you know, a couple new areas, or just little things like that. I think that would be really cool. The Thunderbluff treatment in Ironforge, because I still think Ironforge is fine. I think it's good. Ashenvale, I'd say that's an A tier for me. I don't think it's top tier, but I'm so tired of going to Ashenvale and seeing like the west coast with all the horde warships, and then the central part with the volcano and the elemental guy at the top, and it's just like the eastern part's got like fighting going on. I want all the fighting in Ashenvale to stop, and I want it to go back to just being this like kind of chilled, tranquil forest. And then, you know, maybe there's like little troubles that have popped up throughout the zone from other things, like maybe the creatures of the forest are causing trouble, or the furbolgs, or just something more world related and less like PvP Horde Alliance related, and then having the things caused by the cataclysm just heal up, because I'm tired of seeing that. Yeah. Darkshore is interesting because we had the Darkshore update, so they technically did update Darkshore the same way they updated Arathi Highlands, right? But it's still kind of messed up. You know, and so would I like them to rebuild like Aberdeen and like kind of make these cities and stuff working again? I would say I'm gonna put it in the B tier, because I think they'd clean everything up, right? We just had the BFA Horde Alliance thing there, so it's already very updated from that. But I think maybe if you just kind of tidied it up a bit and then built a new Alliance city there or something, that would be kind of cool. I mean, even for some of these cities, you could just make them neutral cities. Maybe if we are pushing more towards the Horde and Alliance getting along, you just build like a neutral Aberdeen or something, like a bigger port town for Horde and Alliance. Like that's a possibility for a lot of these places too. Like you have more bigger neutral cities. That'd be kind of a cool way to go about it. But yeah, I would like to see that, because that's another one where there's like tornadoes and like random shit going on, and like everything's destroyed on the coast, and like it's just got a lot happening, and I'd like to see it calm down and become more of that old Darkshore vibe, or it's just this chill, creepy coastal forest. I like that more. Desolace. I'd say Desolace is probably a B tier. It's kind of on par with Felwood and Western Plaguelands for me, where it feels like it's supposed to continue to become more naturey and vibrant. And even when you go there, they're like, you can see these trees are like in these little like the druids or whoever's there are like planting trees, and they're trying to get everything going again in Desolace. I would imagine at this point, Desolace would be very not desolate, right? I think we'd hit the point where it would be very green everywhere. And that'd be kind of cool to see, actually. It'd be a bit ironic that you would go to Desolace and everything's just green and vibrant. And maybe there's like one little patch that's actually Desolace. I guess one way they could do all this is you just... it's kind of what I think people talked about in a revamp, where they would make Dragonflight-sized zones. So you would combine like 5 different zones into one big zone. That way, instead of Desolace, it would be like the Great Plain, or like the Vibrant Plains, and then it'd be like the Desolate Lands, or you'd have like these little very specific sub-zone categories instead of just one zone. And then those zones would essentially be sub-zones to the big zone, right? So it'd be like Western Kalimdor, and it would include all these different zones. So I actually think that'd be kind of cool. Gadgetzan. Honestly, I'd put Gadgetzan in the S tier. I think, obviously, it got ruined in the Cataclysm. You know, now it's on the coast. It's like a port town. But I think because of that, you have the potential to make Gadgetzan into like Booty Bay of Kalimdor. And I think that'd actually be awesome. I think that would be cool if you made Booty Bay updated and everything, and then you went to Gadgetzan. You actually turned Gadgetzan into more of like this Booty Bay type of town, and it's got, you know, a whole bunch of pirates all around. You know, you got a whole bunch of like the goblet, like it would be run by like because it's run by like the different cartel of the goblins, right? And now we had Undermine with all the cartels and stuff, so maybe there would be a different style going on here, right? It would be like its own Gadgetzan version of Booty Bay. I think that would actually be really cool. And it becomes like a big hub to go to. And probably almost like an island resort type of vibe, right? Because it is like a desert. So maybe they've cleaned up a lot of the coast and a lot of the stuff. And they're just like, hey, come to Tanaris. It's like all cleaned up now. I think that'd actually be a really funny thing. Like the goblins turning Gadgetzan into this like resort town or like a vacation spot, but it still has like a bunch of weird gadgets and like weird shit going on. Like they still have the Thunder Dome or whatever they got there. And it'd be like a fun little blend of like vacationing and goblin stuff, which they've actually kind of done in War Within and some other parts. So I think if they took that and put it there, it'd actually be really cool. And then we got Badlands, which I'd say Badlands is like, you know what? I put it in the B tier. I think Badlands, it has a lot of stuff from like Deathwing that's just all warped and weird, but I feel like you could do some cool stuff there. I don't know what exactly it would be. I'd have to like sit and think about it, but maybe the wildlife's taken over. Maybe the ogres have kind of taken over more, because I always remember there's like a bunch of ogres in Badlands. That would actually be cool. The Badlands become like this ogre town. That would be sick. And then they could make ogres playable race ogres. They go to the Badlands or something. I have no idea if any of this would work out lore-wise. But again, they've done crazier stuff. I think it could work. I'd actually think that was really cool. And then the ogres make like their base in the Badlands. I'd actually love that. I think that's fitting for the B tier, to the point where I almost want to put it in the A tier. All right, you know what? If they did Ogre Badlands stuff, I'd put it in the A tier. All right, well, that's my list. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Where would you put what on your list? What's important to you? What isn't important? And if there's anything I missed on the list, let me know, because I kind of just threw this list together on the tier list maker with my own stuff, so I probably forgot some things. But like, comment, subscribe. If you want some more tier lists, I'll put them up on the screen. I did a couple recently that are pretty fun. I ranked the tier list icons based on how cool they were, and I also did how long could you survive in every WoW zone before getting killed. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Okay? See ya.